prepare them for this game. He said, I didn't say a thing. I wanted them to experience it on their own. And what an experience it is.
Let's show you the starting lineups, beginning with the visitors from Chapel Hill. And Roy Williams has gone back to the lineup that he went away from, Jay, a couple of games ago. J.P. Tokoto and Kennedy Meeks are back in there as starters.
Tokoto is a key player. He's got to defend, and he has got to rebound without turning the ball over.
For Duke, it's the same group that has started all season long, and that means 3 freshmen again in the starting lineup. The Blue Devils are the only Division I team with 3 freshmen all averaging in double figures. Yet you talk to Mike Krzyzewski and Quinn Cook, the senior, both in terms of what he's done and as a leader has been such a huge part of what Mike Krzyzewski says has been he says his players have been spectacular. He is as proud of this group as he has been really of any group in recent memory. Roy Williams and the Tar Heels have lost 3 out of 4. They have given up a lot of points. Pick shot 65% against them in the Tar Heels last game. And we are underway here in Cameron with North Carolina getting the first possession of the night.
And right away, Quinn Cook taking Marcus Page. They can switch 1 through 4, but they're trying to deny Page and not let him catch it.
Justin Jackson with a floater that won't stay down. And now here come the Blue Devils.
Well, Justin Jackson averages about 10 a game, and that's a shot he takes quite a bit and can hit. He's got one of the best floaters in the ACC.
Kick ball by Page.
Kennedy Meeks, the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, starting on Jahlil Okafor. And he's really got to be smart and physical to deny him low post position.
Winslow into Jefferson. They'll give him the jump shot. Bryce Johnson sagging off him. 2-man game back to Jefferson, and the floater from 6 feet away will go down.
A really pretty pocket pass, an excellent catch and finish by Emil Jefferson.
Tyus Jones the assist. He's got 25 of them in his last 3 games. Tokoto the miss. Duke pushing. Cook from the corner. The 200th made 3 of Quinn Cook's Duke career. Kennedy Meeks, no.
Duke looking to get out and run. When they get a defensive rebound, they're trying to push it up the court to get something easy.
Okafor with a touch in the paint. And the rebound down to Meeks. He loves the long outlet pass. Tokoto to Bryce Johnson, and Carolina's on the board.
Well, good job by Bryce Johnson to run the floor, and North Carolina was physical with Jahlil Okafor in that break after the defensive rebound, and they wound up getting something good after it.
Winslow guarded by Tokoto. Fadeaway over him is good.
Well, Justice Winslow has played extraordinarily well over his last 5 or 6 games.
Jackson misses the spinning shot, and Winslow, much healthier than he was a few weeks ago, shoulder, rib problems, races back for the rebound.
When he was playing against Virginia and Charlottesville, he'd grab a rebound and take it himself all the way down the floor.
No basket, says Pat Driscoll, who's working the game along with Roger Ayers and Tim Nestor. Foul before the shot.
North Carolina is such a good offensive rebounding team. They send 3, sometimes 4 guys to the offensive glass, and that means Duke, if they really run, they've got an opportunity to get some easy things in transition, if they run.
Good ball movement. Winslow with a shot fake, a drive, and a lay-in. What a start for him.
And North Carolina, when there's a shot fake, you can't lift up.
Page to Johnson, and he draws the foul.
Justice Winslow, when he catches the ball on the left elbow, catches it just above and gives just a little shot fake, and that got Justin Jackson to lift up just a bit, and that opened up that side of the floor when there was no traffic at all.
At the line for Carolina, Bryce Johnson averaging 12.5 points per game.
And he's been really good over his last 10 games, averaging 14 points, 9 rebounds, shooting over 60% from the field. And you had better play Bryce Johnson before he catches it, because he is so quick from the catch to the release.
He's got a lot of tricks in his bag of the offensive end. He can score in a number of ways, and the free throws make it a 5-point game.
Well, Johnson's got a great turnaround jumper. He's got a terrific jump hook, and he's really been rebounding over his last 10. Their leading rebounder now.
Screen by Okafor. Now the double team comes back to Jones. Cross court look. Winslow. Open Cook. He won't get a better look than that. A long rebound comes down to Page.
Duke can really stretch a defense playing 4 around 1 when that 1 is Okafor, because you have to pay attention to Okafor, and then they're so spread out.
Meeks trying to go to work on Okafor. Back come the Blue Devils.
Meeks has to get more explosion around the basket.
Okafor scores over Meeks.
Boy, what a sequence for Jahlil Okafor. Defensively, stops Meeks and then goes down and gets low post position to score on him.
And the rebound of the other end after the miss by Tokoto. Duke off to a great start in the early going tonight. Cook. Jefferson. Roy Williams pacing that sideline right now. His team already down by 9.
Well, Duke is just getting into the paint whenever they want. North Carolina not protecting its defensive paint.
Page can't get the shot off.
So far, Duke has denied Marcus Page any open look.
Meeks with a baseline jumper. Boy, you figure they need a big night tonight from Kennedy Meeks to have a chance.
I think all their big guys. One of the key guys is going to be J.P. Tokoto as well. I think he's got to be aggressive. He's got to get to the offensive glass. And he can't give up easy layups like that. Great play by Duke.
Tyus Jones to Justice Winslow. Duke is off to a 7 of 9 start from the field.
Everything they've gotten, Dan, has been really easy. Step in threes, things around the basket with Blue under their feet.
Page.
Offensive.
Right, they're going to wave it off. No signal yet, but I think they will wave it off, and that is the second foul on Marcus Page. So things could not have gone much worse in the early going for Carolina. And, Jay, they couldn't have gone much better in the early going for Duke.
Well, getting the ball inside early to their leading scorer, Jahlil Okafor, with the block shot on Kennedy Meeks, then runs deep and gets that rim run with the easy post look. Duke off to a great start against its arch rival.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by PNC for the Achiever in you. And in part by Buick. Experience 5 expectation-shattering new models from Buick. Proud partner of the NCAA. And Cree LED lighting.
Frank, they're 36 and 36. You can have a discussion about what the best rivalry in sports is, but I don't think you can even have a discussion about what the best rivalry in college basketball is.
Well, it's really amazing how close these programs are, not just geographically, but with the excellence they've shown over the years.
Not to take anything away from Kentucky, Louisville, and there are many great rivalries, but boy, 2 sometimes 3 times a year between 2 programs who have had such extended and consistent excellence. Thanks in part due to players like Tyus Jones, maybe overshadowed a little bit this year by his buddy Jahlil Okafor, but Jones has had a sensational freshman year.
He has played great, and there's that back pick, Isaiah Hicks with the jam, not enough pressure on the ball. But 12 points in the paint thus far for Duke on its offensive end. And they're setting ball screens to get Joel James out on the floor and open up that paint. And Tyus Jones took advantage of it on the last play.
Hicks, James, and Joel Berry the second into the game for Carolina. Marshall Plumlee, Matt Jones have checked in for Duke. Both teams have been hit by injuries. I think Duke's have been a little bit better documented. They're down to 8 scholarship players. Carolina is short as well with Hinson and Hubert out with injuries right now.
And Desmond Hubert, an excellent interior defender, didn't bring quite as much on the offensive end. But Duke has got very few bodies. Here's the scramble right now for North Carolina with a trap near midcourt.
And Cook with his second 3 of the night. Another assist for Tyus Jones.
Well, if Duke gets it out, then all of a sudden you've got an advantage situation, and they take advantage of it. I mean, what guard in the ACC has been better this year than Quinn Cook? I mean, he's had an all-ACC caliber season.
Nate Britt knocks down the jumper. It's 20-10. Let's remind folks about what happened just before the timeout. Marcus Page picked up his second foul. He's sitting on the bench right now. So Berry and Britt are going to be incredibly important here in the first half of the Heels.
Well, Nate Britt has hit 21 threes on the season. Only had 3 made threes all of last year. It's amazing. He has switched from being a lefty shooter to a righty.
stays lefty at the free throw line, but righty from the perimeter. The numbers are really good from both. Loose ball down to Tokido. Carolina will look to push when they can.
Good pass.
And Britt will lay it in. Back-to-back baskets now for the Tar Heels.
Well, J.P. Tokido is an excellent passer, but at times he has been a high-risk passer. He's had multiple games where he's had 4 or more turnovers, including a couple in a row where he had 6.
3 assists already on the night for Tokido.
But Joel James with a foul inside. That is a really good pass and an excellent cut by Nate Britt. Tokido is so athletic. Roy Williams will tell you that Marcus Paige is his best defender, and Paige is a very good defender. There's the guy, J.P. Tokido, who should be North Carolina's best defender.
As good an athlete as there is in college basketball.
Really a phenomenal athlete. This needs to be more aggressive, needs to get to the offensive glass more often.
They're doubling Okafor, and they're leaving Cook open, and he's got 3 threes already.
They're coming into this game, the last 2 games, Quinn Cook averaging 21.5 points, and you can see why. He is one confident player.
ACC Player of the Week last week. Joel James muscles it up and in.
Boy, that's a move that Joel James would not have made last year. He was primarily a defender and a screener, but now he's done a much better job of finishing. He's got the size to really knock Jahlil Okafor around.
And Okafor turns it over on the travel.
Mike Krzyzewski telling the officials that he was getting bumped and fouled. Obviously, there was no call. But Quinn Cook, when the ball goes inside, he didn't even adjust his position. He didn't even have to relocate. He just caught it in the exact same spot and easily was able to get that shot up.
And with the 3 threes tonight, he's now made a 3 as James strikes again. A little unexpected offense from Joel James. Cook has now hit a 3J in 36 consecutive games. Trajan Langdon holds the Duke record, 37 in a row. Cook is having an outstanding year, career highs in almost every category. Again, the double team on Okafor. Look at him dribble out of it, switch hands, and lay it in.
Are you kidding? That's like Baryshnikov. Those feet are amazing for a guy his size. You are not going to find players, Dan, that are going to dribble out of a double team and with a left-handed drive get all the way to the rim.
A 6'11", 270-pound freshman. Isaiah Hicks will travel, and that'll take us to immediate timeout. And we'll take it to break, Jay, with Okafor again.
Well, Jahlil Okafor has got a lot of game, but very few players are going to put the ball on the deck with the left hand and finish with a kiss off the glass like that. Amazing.
And for Okafor, it's been a sensational season. There's Nolan Smith. What a great career that he had under Coach K here in recent years. And it's in all likelihood going to be one and done for this guy. Very quite possibly, if not probably, the #1 pick in the NBA draft. But what a memorable season here in Durham it has been and figures to continue to be for Jahlil Okafor.
Right now, not really a scoring lineup on the floor for North Carolina, but it needs to be a lineup that defends, because Duke has gotten basically whatever they've wanted in the paint and kicking it out.
Boy, Quinn Cook is absolutely on fire right now.
Well, his shots have a hand up, but they're not hotly contested. I wouldn't say they're challenged to the highest level, and they need to be.
Nate Britt right into the chest of Justice Winslow, and that will be the second on Winslow.
A really strong move by Nate Britt. Now, Quinn Cook has not had a good year. He's had a great year. But when you help, just that little fake trap by Nate Britt coming in off a ball side corner shooter. You know, in the NBA, they don't help off ball side. You're not going to help on that drive. You're going to make that guy finish over size. You're not going to give up an open 3 from the corner, which is exactly what Carolina did.
Grayson Allen will make his first appearance in the game for Duke. Winslow sits down with his second. Saturday at 7, the pursuit of perfection continues for Kentucky. They will take on upset-minded Auburn. Then at 9 o'clock, it's a Pac-12 battle. UCLA and #7 Arizona. It's all a part of Rivalry Week presented by Wendy's.
How about the job defensively that Kentucky did on Tennessee, holding them to 48 points. It's not whether you can stop Kentucky, it's whether you can score on it.
Can you get to 50?
Their defense,
maybe 60.
Yeah, their defense is so they're NBA big across the front line. It's amazing how big they are.
Well, we've talked about it in games we've done it. There's another lob. This one for Allen, but he can't finish.
Ran the same play for Justice Winslow. And Allen is a big-time athlete. He can finish that, but they read it very well.
Back to Kentucky. The Portland Trailblazers are the only NBA team with a front line that is bigger than Kentucky's. Bryce Johnson knocks down the jumper. Carolina hanging around with Marcus Page on the bench, saddled with a couple of fouls.
And Bryce Johnson's the guy. He's the guy that can go off for 20, 25 in a game like this. And he needs to be aggressive to score.
Allen aggressive, in and out on the left-handed runner. And back come the heels.
And one thing you haven't seen from North Carolina in this game, they have not rebounded particularly well. What a bad pass. And Meeks has to hold him off.
Okafor with a steal, trying to take it all the way. Maybe trying to do a little bit too much. Now numbers for Carolina. And it'll be Meeks with a chance for three.
Boy, what a turnaround. Duke had an advantage going their way, and North Carolina turns it into a potential end one. Boy, Meeks did such a nice job of catching that ball and squaring himself to the basket. All of a sudden, Emile Jefferson's got to come over his shoulder to block that shot. If he goes chest first, all of a sudden you can block that or bother it. You go with your shoulder first, and Jefferson's got to come over the top of you to foul you.
Meeks, the guy who landed hard on his right knee at practice yesterday as Marcus Page gets ready to check back in. Meeks did not finish practice yesterday after landing on his knee, but appears to be all right here tonight.
Well, give Carolina some credit. They have hung in there and kept playing and got it down to a two-possession game.
And now, is it a turnover? No, it's back to Duke. Now back to Carolina. Jackson hits Britt. Britt's got company. Back to Jackson, but an offensive foul as Tyus Jones steps in to take the charge.
I don't know about that one.
We talk about turnarounds.
That was a tough one.
Is he set before the offensive player leaves the floor?
I thought he was still. Once the player leaves the floor, you've got to be set and not move. And I thought he jumped into him and was moving. I mean, those are tough calls, really tough calls. But
6-point game. Page back in, playing with 2.
Okafor's got to go right away. He had to move there right away and could have scored.
Jefferson backing down Johnson. Tip no. Jefferson the rebound and a fresh 35 for the Blue Devils.
Well, North Carolina was just waiting for the ball to come to them instead of going after it. What a pass.
Another assist for Jones, the basket for Jefferson.
Oh, that's just beautiful pick and roll basketball. Instead of going too fast, Tyus Jones played with great pace and waited for the play to open up and then made the pass.
He's got 5 assists already, Joe. Open Johnson.
Well, that little short corner jumper is such a difficult shot.
Great up and down pace here in this one. Duke leading by 8. Barry back from a groin injury last week, misses it. Johnson there to clean it up.
Is that the first offensive rebound that North Carolina's gotten?
It is. For a team that statistically is the second best offensive rebounding team in the country behind only Baylor, they rebound 42% of their missed shots.
Well, Baylor's offensive rebounding is primarily Rico Gathers, who's a one-man rebounding machine.
He's something else. 8 minutes to go in the half. Okafor. You talk about him cradling that ball, holding it like a grapefruit. He can just do anything he wants to with it.
He is ridiculously talented. One-on-one, there's no player in college that can guard him. Nice.
Barry to Johnson, and the reverse is good to bring the Tar Heels back within 6. Johnson is already into double figures.
Well, both teams have to do a better job of guarding the ball. That's been a problem for North Carolina.
Allen draws the foul.
And North Carolina again gives up the paint off of one pass and drive, and Allen was all the way to the rim.
7:29 to go in the first half. Jahlil Okafor having a very productive night so far here in Durham. He and the Blue Devils lead by 6. You're watching the ACC on ESPN.
Dunk. Nice dish by Casey Hill. Remember, Florida tonight without Michael Frazier and Dorian Finney-Smith. 50-47. They narrowly went out. Dan, Jay, back to you guys.
All right, Dan, thank you. Here a 6-point lead for Duke over North Carolina. 7:29 to go in the first half. Duke's 9-3 in the league, 22-3 overall. They're ranked 4th in the nation. Carolina's 18-7 overall, 8-4 in ACC play. They're 15th in the nation, having lost 3 of their last 4 as Grayson Allen knocks down the free throw. His minutes have gone up, Jay, since the dismissal of Rasheed Suleiman. Instead of being a guy who might play for a few minutes, might not play at all, he's kind of getting 8-10 minutes every game now.
He's such a good athlete and an excellent shooter. And boy, he hit 2 really big free throws at the end of the game in the Carrier Dome against Syracuse. And we talked about the fact that night that going to Syracuse, that was the first time Grayson Allen had ever seen snow fall, and he saw 2 huge free throws fall at the end of that game.
Page misses the 3. The kick out. Barry's wide open. He misses the 3. And here comes Duke.
Well, North Carolina's got to take advantage of offensive rebounds. They've only gotten a couple in this game.
They're not a good 3-point shooting team. Very few teams in America get a higher percentage of their points on 2-point field goals and get a lower percentage of their points on 3-point field goals.
North Carolina doing a pretty good job of denying Tyus Jones the ball back. Now they've got to do a better job of keeping Duke out of the paint. Can't leave the ball. Just can't leave the ball.
Jones, who's a 40% 3-point shooter, knocks it down, and the lead has grown to 11. Johnson, nice dump down. Meeks takes a bump and finishes again.
Boy, what a nice pass by Bryce Johnson and an excellent finish by Kennedy Meeks. A mistake down on the defensive end by North Carolina. Beautiful pass, and they got to do a much better job defensively of communicating to be able to pick that up and then slide over and make sure that that pass can't get down there. Got to get more pressure on the ball and rotate much more effectively. But excellent job by North Carolina.
Foul on Emil Jefferson, his second.
Boy, in this environment, it is so difficult to communicate. North Carolina had a communication issue on the prior play where there was a pick and roll, a miscommunication, and North Carolina left the ball. Kennedy Meeks left the ball, and Tyus Jones got a wide open shot out.
James in for Meeks. Okafor back for Plumlee for Duke. Okafor with 6 points, 3 rebounds thus far.
I think you want to go right into Okafor, and that's exactly what they do.
The immediate double again. Lob inside. Jefferson is fouled by Hicks. How would you classify Okafor as a passer for a big man?
An excellent passer. He's got, I think one of the issues that he's got is I think he needs to just take it right away more often when he catches the ball, to post it a little bit deeper and make sure you take it, because he knows the double is coming, and instead of worrying about the double, just take it right away.
Let's check in with Shannon.
Well, Quinn Cook told me yesterday that, besides just being a great passer for Okafor, he says that when he gets doubled, he maintains his poise. He says that he thinks frustrates the defense. He's able to maintain his poise, kick it back out to his guys, and do what he does on offense.
And sometimes it's not the assist, it's the so-called hockey assist. The pass that leads to the pass that leads to the basket, right?
But you'd also like to see him as a big guy be more dominant. Just take it and go, because he'll get fouled.
Yeah. Page with a step back 3. Hicks crashes, and he's going to get called for the foul. The NBA is on ESPN Friday night. NBA Countdown starts at 7, then it's the Cavs and Wizards at 8, followed by the Spurs and the Warriors at 10:30. Great doubleheader on Friday night.
Dan, one thing in this game, Marcus Page, I mean, he's got 2 fouls, but he hasn't gotten any open looks in this game. Duke has not left him. They've denied him the ball in scoring positions, and every look he has gotten has been pressure. And they're doing it without fouling. One thing Duke did a very good job of at Syracuse, of the many things, was they limited Trevor Cooney. Cooney made his first 3, but he didn't make anything after that, and they didn't foul him. You foul Marcus Page, he's one of the great free throw shooters in college basketball. And they've done a really good job of putting pressure on him without fouling.
I talked to Mike Krzyzewski about one of the things he's most proud of with this team, and that's their ability to win on the road. At home here tonight, obviously, but they have one at Wisconsin. They have one at Louisville. They have one at Virginia. They have one at Syracuse. And again, you often talk to coaches and you hear, well, I wish this guy did that, or I wish this guy did this. He couldn't be happier or prouder of this team, given how few they are in number, just 8, and given how young they are with 4 freshmen. Subs back in on both sides. Britt for Carolina, Winslow for Duke. In your estimation, is Duke playing as well now as they have at any point during the season?
Yeah, they're playing very well. They played really well at the start of the year, as you know. When we were at Madison in Wisconsin, I don't think Duke could have played better than they played against the Badgers, because it's not like Wisconsin played poorly. Duke played great. And then they had that Christmas break where they weren't able to practice or play much, and they took a little bit of a step back, but they've taken 2 steps forward. They're a much better team than they were when they started the ACC season 2-2.
They had the back-to-back losses to Miami and NC State, lost to Notre Dame, but avenged that defeat in resounding fashion with a 30-point win here. Bad pass by Winslow. Nice look ahead, and Tokoto will slam it home.
Well, Justice Winslow has got to be stronger with the ball. He had an opportunity to drive that. He's left-handed. He could have driven that with that left hand into the paint and driven the middle. You can't just give up the ball. Duke's turned it over a bit, and North Carolina's taken advantage.
Cook with 4 threes already in this game.
That's a heck of a rebound by Isaiah Hicks.
Britt playing with a lot of confidence. A little bit strong on the jumper. Offensive rebound. Tokoto. Wide open Page. And all of a sudden, Carolina's back within 4.
And Dan, that's why Roy Williams wanted J.P. Tokoto to go to the offensive glass. With his athleticism, he gets it, hits Marcus Page. That's a huge 3.
Spring is closer than you think. Sam Adams Cold Snap is back. That's nice.
It's got a lot of flavor.
This beer has 10 different ingredients in it.
You can definitely taste the orange peel.
That's really nice. It's nice and crisp.
Crisp, refreshing. Refreshing is the best word.
Sam Adams Cold Snap. Enjoy it while it's here.
Tactile. Solar. Revolutionary. Tissot T-Touch Expert Solar. Tissot.
Well, a quick run by Carolina to get back into the game. It starts with a steal. Tokoto tips it away. Tokoto slams it home. Then the next time down, Tokoto goes to the glass, and Page winds up with a 3.
And the first open look in this ball game that Marcus Page has gotten, and it was because J.P. Tokoto was alert, got to the offensive glass, and hit him. And anytime you get an offensive rebound, if you don't have a stick back, you look to that 3-point line, and you've usually got a teammate that is stepping in to a 3-point shot that you just aren't going to get in any other instance.
In the early stages of this one, it looked like Carolina, Jay, was in jeopardy of maybe getting run out of the gym. They have fought hard and give them a lot of credit for getting back into this game.
Just kept playing. Boy, what a rebound by Tyus Jones. He got some big rebounds on the defensive end up at Syracuse, wound up with 6 rebounds in the game. And even though he's small, he will stick his nose in there. And how about Marcus Page there? He could have easily picked up a foul there, but there's no quit in that kid.
9th team foul on Carolina, 2nd on James, 1-and-1 for Jones, who's an 87% free throw shooter. Quinn Cook, his backcourt buddy, a 91% free throw shooter. Such an advantage for Duke if they're leading late in the game.
Yeah, it's a real luxury for a coach to have a starting backcourt that makes basically 90% of their free throws, and they're automatic.
And the lead is 6.
And Nate Britt's in the game. Marcus Page can run off screens, and Duke's switching. Now Matt Jones switches off onto Page.
Tokoto from the elbow. No. James working hard with his 3rd field goal of the game.
How about that? Joel James came into this game with only 10 made field goals in ACC play. He's got 3 in the first half in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Who would have thought that coming in?
He averages 2.3 points per game. He's got 6 already tonight. He, Meeks, and Johnson, the big guys for Carolina, have played well.
Well, James has been incredibly valuable just in banging bodies with Okafor down low.
The double team. Spinning to the baseline is Okafor. He misses. Plumlee the rebound. Cook. Not this time. Matt Jones is there, and Okafor is down on the court. Jahlil Okafor is lying on his back in the corner of the court as play is stopped. A timeout on the floor. We'll try to get you an update when we come back.
To you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award. And you and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together.
Welcome back to Cameron Indoor Stadium as Jahlil Okafor walking with assistance off to the Duke locker room. And when you get a look at the replay, you can see quite obviously, Jay, what happened here.
Yeah, it just comes down on the foot of Joel James after he goes up for that shot and rolled badly that left ankle. Actually, the Duke locker room is opposite of where Jahlil Okafor is heading. I think he's heading more to the training room so that they can really get a good look at that.
And you said it during the break. This building went from as loud as this building can get to as quiet as this building can get in a heartbeat. Marshall Plumlee in to get some significant minutes now.
You know, Dan, Duke's only got 8 scholarship players. Yeah. And you're not only losing a scholarship player in Jahlil Okafor, you're losing the leading candidate for National Player of the Year.
Joel Berry rejected by Jefferson. And we have, I think, a foul call as Berry kind of bodied Tyus Jones out of bounds, and that's almost an automatic 2 points. It's double bonus here.
Well, Kennedy Meeks with the foul. And North Carolina going right at Duke in the paint with Jahlil Okafor out of the ball game. And Jefferson sent it back. This is a big 3 minutes 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Is Duke going to be able to move this lead out a bit? Or is North Carolina going to be able to take advantage of Okafor being out in the fact that they have really hung tight in this game?
And now Okafor emerges from the other corner. The corner, as you said, is where the Duke locker room is. Walking slowly and going to sit back down on the bench. We'll see if we see him again here in the first half. A rare miss on the second free throw by Jones.
I think North Carolina needs to take a look at Bryce Johnson. He's being guarded by Marshall Plumlee. I think they can get it to him.
Meeks with a size advantage on Jefferson. Britt for 3. Short. And Matt Jones up with it for Duke.
I don't know why North Carolina wants to shoot a 3 there. Nate Britt is a decent shooter, but not great. Go inside. That's their strength. And Okafor's out of the game. It just wasn't the smartest of plays with just under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Matt Jones. Well, the rotation may not be textbook, but the result certainly was right there for Duke. And now a steal by Jefferson.
Well, good pass.
Cook. 6 points in the blink of an eye for Duke.
Well, we asked the question, would they move it out or would Carolina take up that slack when they were down 6? Clearly it's move it out.
Largest lead of the game for the Blue Devils as Tokoto gets a friendly bounce.
Well, what an answer with Okafor being out of the game. And you get a feeling maybe Duke would be a little bit shaky and North Carolina unable to take advantage and falls further behind.
Duke looking to go over 50 points here in the first half. They won't hear the miss by Cook. Carolina looking to push. Britt gets it back from Tokoto. Page on the bench with 2, and there's a foul going against Carolina. It'll be on Bryce Johnson.
North Carolina just couldn't get organized, and Bryce Johnson, you got to stay set when setting those ball screens. Well, that was an unnecessary turnover by the Tar Heels, and Duke has a chance to really take advantage.
Jay, they're shooting 60% Duke is in the game, and they're 7 of 9 from 3.
Well, the last 3 games coming into this one, Carolina was giving up over 60% from 2-point range. They gave up 65% to Pittsburgh.
Britt switches hands, misses, loose ball. won't stay down. Both Tokido and Johnson were there, but now Johnson lays it in. And the Tar Heels do what the Tar Heels do best, get on the offensive glass.
North Carolina needs a stop right here. Now, Duke may go for a 2-for-1. They like to do that.
Ball's loose. And on the alternating possession, it will stay with Duke. And Okafor's coming back in.
Well, Okafor able to send the message not only to North Carolina that he's back, but to his teammates that he's back before they go into halftime.
Jones might have gotten away with a walk there. That's certainly what the Carolina bench was thinking. They thought he took an extra step trying to gather that ball in the backcourt. Shot clock at 10. We haven't said that at all tonight. And now a foul against Duke.
One on Tyus Jones. They essentially called that a pick play and a moving screen. Now, oftentimes when you do those dribble handoffs, when you hand it off, they'll just try to throw your body into the way of the defender. Like almost like a pick play in football, and referees call it.
Now the Tar Heels can hold for a final look if they so choose. They were down as many as 13. They are down by 9 right now. Shot clock turned off.
And Duke's got a foul to give. So if North Carolina gets anything going to the basket with an advantage, you can foul and make them take it out.
Barry drives. Tough shot. Oh, by Tokido.
No wonder Roy Williams wants him to go to the offensive glass. What a finish.
And a 6-0 run for the Tar Heels to end the half and get back within 7.
Boy, Duke had a foul to give there, didn't use it. But what an offensive rebound by J.P. Tokido. Talk about athleticism. Difficult shot, nobody boxes out. And you pay for it. And North Carolina had a chance to run further out, but they stay in it.
Let's go to Shannon Spake with Duke Associate Head Coach Jeff Capel.
Coach, we saw Okafor get back in the game. What can you tell us about his injury?
Well, I think he's okay. He rolled his ankle, went out, tied his shoe up tighter, just checked on it. I think he's all right.
We saw him fighting through it. What did he say to you on the bench, you guys on the bench before he got back in?
Said he was ready to play.
There's been some momentum swings in this game. Where have the breakdowns come for you guys when it's been on Carolina's side?
For us, it's our transition defense and offensive rebounds. Two of the things they do as well as anyone.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
7-point lead for Duke, 49-42 at halftime. They're getting ready. Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, Jay Williams setting up courtside for the Mazda half-half. Welcome back to Duke. Dan Shulman and Jay Billis. Give North Carolina credit. It was 13, and the last couple of minutes really made a new game out of it.
That was a huge stretch for North Carolina, especially the play of J.P. Tokido down the stretch. You know, he got 2 offensive rebounds that led to 5 points. Kicked it out to Marcus Page for a 3, and then that tip dunk that he had. And I thought North Carolina really hung in there late in that second half. The first 4 minutes of this second half are going to be gigantic.
Down to court level and Shannon Spake.
Well, Dan, you saw Jahlil Okafor roll that left ankle in the closing minutes of the first half. He had it retaped during halftime, and he will start this second half. Now, as far as Roy Williams, happy with what his team has done. He said there are just moments where we're not playing with our heart and our head. I asked him, like you said, Jay, how important these first 4 minutes of this second half are. He said, well, we're down 7. They're pretty doggone important.
They need a big second half from Marcus Page, who, Jay, as you well know, the last couple of years has been a great second half player for North Carolina.
Duke trying to run off the miss. What a pass!
Jefferson can't finish, though.
Well, Tyus Jones had 6 assists in that first half. That should have been the 7th.
Tokido rejected by Jefferson.
A great block by Jefferson and a really poor pass there.
Page, Johnson, who had 12 in the first half, given 14 now. Carolina's within 5.
And Bryce Johnson is the one in a light blue uniform that I believe can go off in this second half. You mentioned he had 12 in the first. He's got the talent and offensive ability to get 25 in this one.
Kick ball on Page.
Again, when J.P. Tokido had that ball going up against Justice Winslow, excuse me, that's the kind of play that he's got to get fouled. He is such a good athlete. And instead of going right into Winslow's body and creating that contact, he just kind of went softer than he needed to.
And Winslow, who's a left-handed player, lays it in with a right hand over Tokido. Cook hustling back to flex the ball out of bounds. How many times do you think in this game the shot clock's gone down to the last, say, 5 seconds? I'm not sure it's happened.
Not very many. It's kind of nice watching two teams that go after each other and try to score.
Johnson with Okafor on him.
Duke in the 3-2 zone off the out of bounds underneath. Got Winslow out top.
Tokido with a baseline jumper. Jump shooting is not his specialty.
Yeah, he just settled there. And you're not going to win on the road by settling.
Okafor playing with the rolled left ankle from the first half. Draws a foul on Bryce Johnson.
Bryce Johnson, when he came over to double, ran right past Jahlil Okafor. He's got to come and get shoulder to shoulder with Kennedy Meeks and create a wall there. You can't just run by and hope that Okafor is going to bobble the ball. He's not going to do that.
Okafor at the line, 57% from the line on the season. But better lately in conference play, 62%, 50 before conference play. And obviously Agaje is going to spend a lot of time getting fouled.
Yeah, that's something he's got to work on. He's got a terrific touch. But he has not been a proficient free throw shooter, and you're right. I mean, he's going to spend a ton of time. He's going to wear a hole in that free throw line.
Missed them both. But the ball bounces free to Jefferson.
Well, that is a poor mistake on the part of North Carolina. Get 2 missed free throws and wind up giving up an easy bucket just because you don't corral a free throw blocker.
Justin Jackson's pass is taken away. Jackson played sparingly in the first half of the Tar Heels.
Well, so far, Duke winning the first 4 minutes of the second half, and North Carolina needed to come out stronger. They didn't come out strong to start the game, didn't come out strong to start the second half.
Cool. Beautiful bounce pass. Winslow the miss in close, and it's out of bounds to Carolina.
Boy, there have been so many good passes. There have been a lot of bad ones, but so many good passes thrown in this game.
Page the drive, and the scoop up and in to bring Carolina back within 7.
Boy, to give a scorer something that easy, and Marcus Page taking advantage. Duke just not ready.
Cook with a big first half, 15 points in the first half for the senior. Stops on a dime, misses the floater. And Johnson with a rebound for North Carolina.
Johnson a little slow getting that outlet pass. He could have gotten it right away, and North Carolina could have run more effectively.
7 rebounds for Johnson. Meeks into the chest of Okafor, gets the roll. It's a 5-point game.
Now, Okafor letting Meeks get that rim run low post position. And you're right, Meeks just going right into his chest and locking him down. Little double stack low.
Okafor a touch. Johnson the double. Winslow the kick. Jones the 3.
And what a rebound with 2 hands by Bryce Johnson. His rebounding has really improved, especially over the last 10 games. Just under 10 a game.
He's been as good a player as Carolina's had in this game. Basket here would be huge for Carolina, and they'll get it courtesy of Meeks, and it's a 3-point game.
Carolina has to continue to go inside. That's where their strength is. Meeks and Johnson both have excellent turnaround jumpers.
Well, Duke won the first couple of minutes, but Carolina's won the last couple of minutes here in this opening segment of the second half. Double again on Okafor. Dribbles it off his foot, out of bounds.
Boy, Jefferson wide open underneath. Okafor just didn't see him trying to dribble out of that double team.
The 9th turnover committed by Duke in this game.
North Carolina didn't start out strong initially in this second half. But they have recovered with an opportunity here to tie the game if they knock in a three.
Isaiah Hickson for Carolina.
Backdoor look wasn't there, now a cross screen.
Hicks, tough one over Jefferson. Follow is good. Give it to Tokido, I believe. And Carolina's on an 8-0 run and back within one.
Roy Williams challenged J.P. Tokido to be a better offensive rebounder, and he has been. And that's been a big difference in this game, is the performance of J.P. Tokido on the glass.
Tyus Jones too strong. Jackson got Tokido ahead of him. And Tokido with a reverse to give Carolina its first lead of the night.
Jackson didn't see Tokido. When he did, he knew that was going to be a poster dunk. Boy, what a pretty play by J.P. Tokido. And Carolina now with the lead. J.P. Tokido is a high flyer, gets rewarded.
Jay is on a 10-0 run. How are they getting it done?
Well, they've gotten the ball inside. J.P. Tokido has done a really good job on the glass. And North Carolina's gotten some stops. Now, Duke has not been strong with the ball. They've turned it over a couple times. But J.P. Tokido with that tip in, and then with a finish. Watch your head, son. That is high up there.
Down to court level in Shannon Spade.
Well, Dan, yesterday J.P. Tokido said that this is more than just a rivalry. This could be a defining moment in their season. They've, of course, lost 3 of the last 4 games. He said intensity is just slipped. Well, it looks like intensity's back if those dunks have anything to say about it.
Certainly does. What a run here for Carolina. They were down 13 late in the first half. They were down 9 just a couple of minutes ago. And they're going to wave off the basket as Quinn Cook is called for the charge, which will take us to the under-16 media timeout. The Tar Heels get the call. The Tar Heels have the lead and all the momentum when we come back.
ESPN 2, 47-46 right now. Make sure you join Karen and I for College Basketball Live, 11 Eastern, ESPN 2. Dan, Jay, back to you guys.
And then a 1-point lead, North Carolina. 5 minutes and change into the second half here at Duke. Number 15, Carolina. Number 4, Duke. Jackson for 3. No. Offensive rebound. Guess who? Tokido. Almost threw it away.
Well, J.P. Tokido has been all over the offensive glass.
Jackson rejected by Jefferson. Tip is good for Meeks.
Boy, what a play by Kennedy Meeks. Caught that out of the air and tipped it in with 2 hands.
It's a 12-0 run for the Tar Heels. Jones gets inside. Okafor with a rebound.
Well, you don't see him miss many of those, but he's got some resistance inside from the big Tar Heels.
And who knows how much he's favoring that ankle as Cook fouls Meeks.
You know, Jahlil Okafor, obviously with that sprained ankle, he looks a step slow. And there have been some difficulties with him getting to the glass. And what a play by Kennedy Meeks. The presence of mind to kiss that off the glass from 4 or 5 feet out.
And Carolina really starting to assert itself on the offensive glass. Meeks at the line.
Well, if Carolina can move Jahlil Okafor away from the basket with some ball screen action and get him away from the paint. Test that ankle and see if he's got the ability to move his feet.
Britt in for Jackson for Roy Williams.
The free throw blockouts are huge in this game because of Carolina's ability to pound the offensive glass.
1 of 2 for Meeks. He's got 14 points on the night.
Tokido is guarding Justice Winslow. After he got off to a great start, hasn't gotten a whole lot.
Okafor back to Jefferson through traffic, draws the foul.
A really nice post dive by Emile Jefferson. Got the ball inside to Jahlil Okafor, and when the double team came, Jefferson dove right to the basket in a straight line.
And the foul on Tokido, his second. Jefferson, a 57% free throw shooter. Saturday at 7, the pursuit of perfection continues for undefeated Kentucky. They'll take on Auburn, then at 9 Eastern. UCLA at number 7, Arizona, all a part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. I notice you're steering clear of the Rivalry Week tonight.
Well, you're such a pro. I'll let you handle that.
Challenge yourself, Jay Billis.
Now on the Mike Elmer FUD.
The 13-0 run for Carolina has been snapped, but they've still got the lead. Meeks, nice cross-court look. Tokoto inside. Hicks. Oh, what a block by Winslow. But they're going to count the basket. It'll be a goaltending call and a bucket for Carolina.
And North Carolina continues to get the ball into the paint. And Justice Winslow, well, he's got amazing ability to get blocked shots. Does it in transition, especially where he can come and wipe one away. But North Carolina has been dominating the painted area after getting dominated early in the game where they were giving up an awful lot. And there's Winslow posting up Tokoto inside. Isolation play, and Tokoto able to deny him the quick score.
Jefferson rolling to the bucket. It'll go!
When Emile Jefferson looks for those openings to play off of Jahlil Okafor, he is so much more effective. He has learned to play without really being guarded because so much attention goes to Okafor. And that was a huge play to be able to get that to go down and get fouled.
Third on Hicks. Jefferson averages just under 8 points per game.
Well, he has had some big games, none bigger than that 17.9 rebound performance at Louisville.
He's at 13 already tonight as Jones deflects it out of bounds.
Right now, this is not an interior scoring lineup. Joel James has gotten a few buckets. Isaiah Hicks, a much better scorer. The leading scorer coming off the bench for North Carolina.
No Meeks, no Johnson in the game right now for Roy Williams.
And Meeks and Johnson have combined for 24 points in this game. Good cut.
Page, the high arcing floater. No, another offensive rebound. This time it's James.
A dangerous pass.
Hicks over Okafor. Boy, they are just dominating on the glass. The ball's going to go to Duke, but Carolina has its hands on every missed shot.
And that's their strength. They've got to continue to go after the ball. And they'll not only get some offensive rebounds, but they're like body blows in a fight. And you try to wear your opponent down.
Winslow driving. Rebound Tokoto.
Well, Winslow's got to finish that. Tokoto opened up and let him have that angle to the basket. But Duke has really done a good job of limiting Marcus Page. He's really gotten, other than that offensive rebound bucket he's gotten in the first half, what open has he gotten except for a few shots at halftime?
A quiet 5 points in the game. Did have some foul trouble in the first half. Britt. Crossover on Jefferson. Jefferson stays with him. Shot clock's at 4. Hicks forced to put it up. Rebound Okafor.
Well, nice box outs, especially by Okafor to keep James off the glass. Winslow's got Britt on him down low. He should take him in and post him.
Now the switch. Tokoto's on Winslow. Okafor not seeing a double team. Inadvertently put it through the legs of James and turned it over. 3-on-2 Carolina. Hicks will lay it in. The assist to Tokoto.
Boy, nice body control by J.P. Tokoto. When Winslow was set up to take a charge, came to a jump stop, dished it off to Hicks, and got the easy bucket.
6 assists for J.P. Tokoto, in addition to all the work he's done on the glass tonight.
Well, this is the way he needs to play. He just needs to be a better defender on the ball, but he's been terrific.
Another 3 for Cook. His 6th of the game in 8 attempts.
What a game. Duke switching exchanges 1 through 4.
Britt. Page had it. Cook takes it away. Cook going for the lead. Loose ball to Page. Boy, they got numbers wide open as Britt, and Hicks wasn't looking in his direction.
Hicks was trying to get it back to Marcus Page, who was being denied by Emile Jefferson. Now Jefferson out on Page. See if Page tries to take him off the dribble. Doesn't want a ball screen. He wants to go one-on-one.
Tough shot. Okafor down with a one-handed rebound.
One-handed rebound using the other hand to ward off the big and strong Joel James.
Midway point of the second half, Carolina leading Duke by 1. Good position for Okafor. Count it, and a foul.
That is just strength on strength. Isolating Jahlil Okafor down in the low post. He goes right into the chest of Joel James, finishes the play, and gets fouled. What a heavyweight fight.
Tonight's amazing play brought to you by Quicken Loans.
Well, anytime Duke has gotten the ball inside to Jahlil Okafor, he has drawn an awful lot of attention. North Carolina coming with a double team shoulder to shoulder. He dribbles out to the corner and then able to dribble it out all the way to the bucket. Not the best of defense perhaps by North Carolina, but how many guys 6'11" can make moves like this and handles the ball like it's a softball? Those are huge hands and soft hands. He's got 8 points and 8 rebounds. And in the last play, gets the ball right in the middle of the lane going into the chest of Joel James. But it's the first bucket he's had since about 8 minutes to go in the first half.
Carolina with the ball down by 1.
Got to look to Bryce Johnson here. He's got Matt Jones on him.
And there's a foul on Okafor trying to ward off Meeks down in the post.
Roy Williams got Meeks and Johnson some rest. Now they're coming in after Okafor has been banging bodies with Joel James. Now they come in as the better scorers.
Britt's open for 3.
I don't know why they want to shoot threes. Get the ball inside. Britt has hit 21 threes on the season. That's a vast improvement from last year where he hit only 3 as a lefty. But that is not the strength of North Carolina's team. Their strength is inside.
Carolina's 1 for 6 from 3. Duke is 8 for 11. Yet it's a 1-point game.
Duke right now just trying to isolate their best matchup. Bryce Johnson was guarding Justice Winslow. Put him on the left side of the floor where he could drive left and went right at Johnson. Picked up the foul.
3rd on Johnson, 5th on the team.
Good pass.
Not this time for Cook. A rare miss. Britt taps. Meeks fires it ahead for Tokoto. And he draws the foul. J.P. Tokoto is playing the way, as you've said often, that Roy Williams wants him to play, has challenged him to play in recent weeks.
Well, he's playing like a big-time athlete. Against Virginia in the Smith Center, I've never seen J.P. Tokoto so passive as a player. I'm not even sure he even had a field goal in that game.
He had 1 point and 1 rebound in 30 minutes.
There were times when you saw him on the floor and you go, geez, I forgot he was out there. And that's not the type of player he is. He's not a good shooter, obviously not a very good free throw shooter, but he is such a great athlete. He's a good passer. He can be a great defender. And he has shown his ability in this one on the offensive glass. And if he can carry this forward for the rest of the season, that's a huge asset for this North Carolina team.
Marcus Page back in for Carolina. Coach K, 40 and 38 against Carolina. Coach Roy Williams, 10 and 13 against Duke as Carolina's head coach. A remarkable rivalry, and Jay, we may have another great chapter being written into it here tonight.
And here's the matchup. Bryce Johnson guarding Winslow. Winslow can drive him.
He'll try to cut off on the baseline. Some help there by Page. And off to Jones. And that's going to be Carolina ball.
That was off Jones.
And the call now might be overturned. Tim Nestor goes over to Roger.
That was off Jones.
Yeah, good call. It was tipped twice. The last guy to touch it was Matt Jones. Carolina was down 13-4, 20-8, 49-36. A 13-point deficit, their largest of the night. Barry, a bad miss and another 3.
Duke very fortunate just that that ball went out of bounds. There was a back pick that picked off Justice Winslow and got Bryce Johnson all the way to the rim with no impediment. And that could have been an easy stick back. Yeah, I think they go to Johnson here.
Barry finds Johnson, and Johnson gives Carolina the lead.
You know, that's the matchup that North Carolina has an advantage on the offensive end. Now, Duke has the advantage on its offensive end because Winslow can drive Johnson.
Duke with a smaller lineup right now, one we've seen in recent weeks more often from Mike Krzyzewski, with Winslow playing at the 4, Jefferson not being in the game.
Duke was a little bit slow getting back in transition, but able to stop that initial push by North Carolina. Boy, what a play by Okafor.
Brick tries to wrestle it back, and the arrow is going to give it to the Blue Devils.
That was unbelievable. Breaking contact to get around in front of Kennedy Meeks to knock that ball away. Left ankle hurts? Don't think so. Looked like a linebacker going after that ball. That was impressive.
Jefferson back, Winslow to the bench for Duke. Media timeout coming on the next whistle. You know, when Okafor rolled that ankle at the end of the first half, you certainly didn't think, at least I didn't, that you would see him before the end of the first half. He came back for a possession or two in the final minute, and you wondered at the time if you'd even see him at all the rest of the night.
There's a foul up top.
No basket. Jones will draw the foul. That'll take us to a timeout. We've got a great one brewing here at Cameron.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by PNC for the Achiever in You, and in part by Cialis.
Insight is knowing you made the right decision from the
start. Hoops presented by PNC, and potential trouble here for North Carolina. Bryce Johnson has gone to the bench with his 4th foul.
Picks it up as Tyus Jones gets by. That screen was set in the backcourt by Emil Jefferson. And Bryce Johnson, just with a poor decision to reach in, got the foul. That's his 4th. And he's got 16 points in the ballgame, 10 rebounds. He's 7 of 9 from the floor, and you can see the frustration on the part of Bryce Johnson as he talks to assistant coach Steve Robinson and head coach Roy Williams. So he'll be back in there shortly, but it takes away some of his aggressiveness, or could.
So it's Meeks, Hicks, Jackson, Page, and Barry for Carolina.
Carolina with a zone look going back to man.
Okafor. The double team, tough interior pass to Jefferson. And it's going to be Carolina ball.
You just can't dribble through all that traffic. You can't catch and go up right away, which I think Jefferson should have done. Just go up right away, strong with it. 13
Duke turnovers.
Well, Carolina's defense has been very good in this second half.
Lob inside, Meeks. And count it. It's a goaltending call on Okafor. Carolina by 4. 16 for Meeks.
Boy, Okafor got all the way in front with no backside help. And that was a great job by Justin Jackson of passing the ball over the top. And Meeks held his position, let the ball get over his head before he let go. There's going to be a foul on Meeks. He's got to be careful. He's wrestling Okafor.
Jones.
There's a lot of contact.
Rebound down to Page.
Well, there was a ton of contact there.
Barry to Jackson, and the lead grows to 6.
Well, that's the break that North Carolina has not seen as much of this season. Usually the North Carolina fast break is an incredible weapon, and it certainly was on that play. Boy, this should be a message to the North Carolina players when they play with this kind of focus and intensity, exactly what they're capable of doing.
In the last 88 meetings, Jay, now, including this game, these two programs have scored exactly the same number of points against one another.
That is amazing.
It's crazy.
First of all, who's counting all that? we got a lot of people with time on their hands.
With free time. 6-point lead for Carolina, trying to pull off an upset here in Durham. The NBA comes your way on ESPN Friday night. Begins with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. And the Cavs and the Wizards at 8, followed up by the Spurs and Warriors at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN.
You know, Dan, in the last 7 minutes of regulation, It'll be interesting to see the depth of North Carolina and the effect it'll have on this game.
They have outscored Duke 32-13 since about 2 minutes left in the first half. As if you need reminding, the rematch comes at the Dean Dome in Chapel Hill on March the 7th, final Saturday of the regular season. Jones was looking for the foul instead of squaring up for the shot. Meeks with the outlet. Page the lob. And Hicks took it away from Jackson, finishes and draws the foul.
Good decision. Boy, North Carolina is really running off of a miss. Tyus Jones trying to get that foul, jumping in to Justin Jackson. North Carolina took off on the break. And this is where you wonder about the depth of Carolina. Duke with only 8 scholarship players. Will they be worn down in this kind of up and down game?
Cook and Jones play huge minutes. Okafor is not 100% because of the ankle. We haven't seen Grayson Allen in the second half. Conley has played limited minutes.
We talked about free throw blockouts and North Carolina with an offensive rebound off a miss.
Page through some traffic, still going.
Great pass.
And it's blocked out of bounds. Still 15 on the shot clock. Now less than 6 minutes to go.
And remember, Bryce Johnson, who is having a great game on the bench with 4 fouls, so he can still come back in.
Page is wide open and threw up an air ball.
Well, Jackson thought he had to get rid of it because the shot clock going down. That's where the offense has an advantage when an air ball is shot, because they're following the flight of the ball.
Cook driving. The kick to Jones. Got it.
What a great pass by Quinn Cook. And Tyus Jones is just unflappable. And there is not a more poised freshman guard in America.
He has had some of his best games against ranked opponents this year, averaging better than 15 a game, shooting at a high percentage. Open is Berry, and he'll hit the corner 3 to restore the 8-point lead. First points of the night.
And Joel Berry, who missed 7 games. He's so quick and strong as a guard, just stepping right behind Kennedy Meeks for that open shot.
Cook spinning into the lane. Taken away by Hicks.
There's just nowhere to go. Didn't make the defense move at all.
Jackson, no. Duke ball. Winslow draws the foul.
Well, when Justice Winslow gets a rebound and busts out on his own, he can really be a weapon. Did a lot of that up in Charlottesville when Duke handed Virginia its first loss, and he was a real catalyst in getting a running game going to try to play ahead of the Virginia defense. And he's done that at times in this game. Well, Winslow has been so good over the last 6 or 7 games. Over his last 6, he's averaging 14 a game, shooting 49%, just about 8 rebounds over that stretch.
Jay, there you see Bryce Johnson back into the game. 4 fouls, 4:32 to go. And 2 big free throws for Winslow.
And you can expect that Duke's going to try to go right at Bryce Johnson, especially if he's guarding Winslow. Now, Winslow on Johnson, you think North Carolina should go right to Johnson, let him go to work.
Tokido, tough pass inside. And to be Carolina ball is Pat Driscoll, one of the officials, gets steamrolled a bit by Matt Jones.
Hopefully he's okay. He got up quickly.
Yeah. Working this game along with the right.
I think he's saying he had his. I think he's saying he had his feet set out as a charge.
No, he's wrong. He was definitely moving. But fortunately, he's okay. One of the real good guys in the game. They'll inbound it or hand it off to Berry, who will inbound it to Tokido. Tokido's had moments of brilliance in tonight's game. Britt's inside and has a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, Nate Britt just went right into the body of Tyus Jones. The North Carolina runs a little play there out of bounds where it's just nothing but motion. I mean, there's no pattern to it. It's not like they're running a set play. They just circle and move around and then attack. And that's just an excellent job by the, well, you'd have to say he's ambidextrous, right? Or amphibious, whatever it is in the old ACC saying.
Missed the free throw with the left hand. He's a 90% free throw shooter. He shoots jump shots this year with the right hand after shooting with the left hand last year. And he's playing with a ton of confidence the last few games for Carolina.
He started a couple games, and he allows.
Look at the drive and the finish by Britt, and it's a 10-point lead for the Tar Heels.
Right, every white shirt was man conscious. They were not worried about the ball. They were just worried about their man.
Winslow, no. And it seems like so many of the 50-50 balls, Jay, are going to Carolina right now.
Well, Duke's not running anything in the half court. Carolina's taken them out of their offense like they've sped them up in this game. There have been so many possessions.
Good decision by Tokido not to take that shot.
So I think Carolina wants to get it inside.
Turnaround by Johnson. Rebound Okafor. Duke had 49 points in the first half. They've scored 18 in the second half. They need this one. And they'll get it by Winslow. Timeout, Mike Krzyzewski.
Well, that gives Duke a little. He cast a very long shadow in the game of basketball, and we'll never see his like again.
And there are about 1,000 students here tonight wearing shirts with Duke colors, but the word Dean written on the front of them.
A nice moment with two rivals that share a common neighborhood.
Separated by only 8 miles. And tonight, right now, by 7 points. Carolina with the lead in the ball, trying to pull off the upset. Tokido. Tough shot.
Boy, that was a tough shot right over Matt Jones, who did a terrific job defending. That's where you just take your hat off to an excellent offensive play by J.P. Tokido, who's had maybe his best game of the year.
Double on Okafor. He finds Winslow.
Just an alert cut. Ball went inside, through the double, and Winslow cut directly to the basket.
Duke with just 1 timeout remaining. There is a media timeout coming on the next whistle, as Carolina is going to take it under the 2-minute mark.
And really, all this has been accomplished by North Carolina without Marcus Paige having a big game. Paige only has 5 points in this one.
Rolls off the rim. Johnson keeps it alive. Jones for Duke. Winslow, the drive, and draws the foul.
And what an aggressive play. Great shot fake by Justice Winslow.
He'll be at the free throw line when we come. LA in the house here at Cameron. 1:38 to go. And 15th ranked North Carolina, which has come in here losing 3 of its last 4, is trying to pull off a significant upset here in Durham. And Mike Krzyzewski said it was before the game. He felt Duke was going to get Carolina's best tonight. They did it for most of the first half. But since there were about 2 minutes left in the first half, Carolina has been the far superior team.
Well, first of all, how about Stan Verrett with the basketball analysis? Stay in your lane.
Winslow. 1:38 to go. Duke with 1 timeout, down by 7.
I'll tell you, North Carolina has dominated the glass in this second half. And to accomplish all of this with Marcus Paige completely denied is really impressive on the part of the Tar Heels, because Paige, Duke has not left him. I mean, they're not helping off at all. Boy, poor save on the part of Bryce Johnson there. This could wind up being a 3.
Tyus Jones the miss. Winslow had it. Jones has it. And finishes strong.
Well, how about Tyus Jones? North Carolina right there for the rebound, unable to corral it. Duke had an opportunity for a 3, and Jones went right into the chest of Kennedy Meeks and got that to go. Are you kidding me? What a play by Tyus Jones. Apple Valley, Minnesota, the freshman. How you like them apples?
You know, even with that basket, you look at points in the paint, and you would expect maybe Carolina to have an advantage. It's 56-30. They have 56 points in the paint in this game.
Yeah, a team that averages 38 points in the paint, and that's
Krzyzewski's last time out. There's a minute 23 left. They start fouling this early, Jay, or do they play it out?
Well, I think you can play it out. But if you do foul, the guys you want to foul are Meeks and Johnson.
They're going for the long pass, and they throw it away. What a gift the Tar Heels just gave the Blue Devils.
They get to go down under their basket. Didn't look like anybody touched it.
So a change of possession with no time coming off the clock.
What a huge play and a huge turnover for North Carolina. Have an opportunity to burn some clock. Maybe get fouled, go to the free throw line, and all of a sudden Duke's got a real chance.
And then Carolina gets it right back. There's a foul on Duke.
Wow. We're seeing some mistakes on top of mistakes. Duke having an opportunity to take advantage of a North Carolina miscue, and then they just hand it back, and that's a deflating play toward the end of a ball game. Some time had to go off the clock there, and
I agree
that moved from 123. Boy, what a poor decision and a poor pass by Tyus Jones, and he doesn't do that very often. So North Carolina, both teams are going to get a chance to regroup a little bit while the officials figure out the time.
It was the 7th team foul on Duke, so 1-and-1 coming for Carolina.
It was 123 when the inbounds pass was made. It was tipped, and then Barry came up with it, and time had to go off the clock before he was fouled.
Got to be a second, maybe two, because time's got to start there. Time should already be running because it was deflected by Tokido.
What another terrific play by Tokido. JP Tokido has had as good of a game as he's had all season long. You know, Marcus Page, Duke has not let him breathe, and the rest of this Tar Heel team have stepped up in other areas.
13 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and that doesn't even talk about things like deflections that have led to productive possessions for Carolina.
And those offensive rebounds. You know, when he got that offensive rebound in the first half, kicked it to Marcus Page for Page's really only open shot to knock down that three off the offensive board. That was a huge play.
This is a big one. Either Duke's 2 games ahead of Carolina or they're tied after this one tonight. Both teams trying to chase down to Virginia and Notre Dame.
How about Notre Dame? What a difference Jaron Grant makes, huh? Mike Brey, so many years in the Big East of winning double-digit games in the league. Now double-digit wins in this brutally difficult ACC.
You know, you go back and you look at the preseason prognostications, whether it's media or coaches, every year, regardless of what conference Notre Dame is in, it seems like every year they exceed so-called expectations at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, Mike Brey, DeMatha High School product in the D.C. area, played for Morgan Wooten. Has really done an incredible job with that Fighting Irish program.
Roger Ayers and Pat Driscoll have come to a decision, and they'll take 2 seconds off the clock. And now 1-and-1 for Nate Britt. 2 for 3 tonight, 90% on the season. Jones has it. Going all the way. And he is fouled hard by Barry and will shoot a couple of free throws.
Who could figure this out? You've got a near automatic free throw shooter going to the line. He is way short on it. It leads to a run out for Duke, and all of a sudden another great free throw shooter, Tyus Jones, has 2 free throws. And still a minute 16 to go in a 5-point game. Now, this has just been a lack of execution on the part of both teams in the last couple of minutes.
Jones at the line 87% on the season, 3 for 4 tonight.
Tyus Jones has played his best in big games. It's amazing at his size. He does a really good job rebounding.
Three-point game. 9-2 Duke run.
Right now, we're going to see what North Carolina is made of. Can they hang on to this lead on the road?
Three-guard look. Britt, Page, Barry, along with Johnson and Meeks. Tokido not in the game right now for Carolina.
Jones on Page. He is not going to leave him.
Britt uses the screen. Shot clock inside 10. Page to Johnson. And a foul.
Johnson never let go of that ball when he went up, and he went up with two hands. And Justice Winslow not at all happy about that call. Great recovery by Winslow. And you can't tell whether there was arm there. He swung his arm down. I don't know. That looked like an awful lot of ball there.
And you can tell what the crowd's reaction is as they saw a replay here.
Something, you know, 2 seconds isn't worth the 3 minutes it takes, but what it did was give Bryce Johnson a little more time to think about this free throw. And Johnson has got an excellent touch. Only a 64% free throw shooter in ACC competition. Well, he has had a terrific ball game and has played his best basketball over the last 10 games. One of the best offensive players in the league, and has improved his rebounding and has really rebounded at a high level, especially over the last 10 games.
That's 2 big free throws for Bryce Johnson.
Well, that didn't look like a 64% free throw shooter, did it?
He'll sit down. Tokido returns on defense.
Well, that was an excellent job by Bryce Johnson.
Remember, Duke is out of timeouts.
You don't have to have a 3 here.
How tough is that kid?
He is a player. And that's why you don't necessarily need a 3. He just manufactured his own. Went right into the body of Joel Berry. Drew that foul, and not only drew the foul, he finished the play. I mean, that is one strong-minded player.
How about 17 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds for the freshman?
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous numbers.
2-point game. And Matt Jones will send Bryce Johnson back to the free throw line.
And Johnson's got to feel a heck of a lot more confident, having seen his last 2 hit nothing but net. And now all of a sudden this is a free throw contest. And Duke has one of the free throw shooters that would rather have on the line.
1-1 here for Johnson.
Free throw blockouts, Dan, are huge right now.
It's loose. It's Duke's ball. They can tie or take the lead.
Duke has had success driving it.
Jones is trying, and he ties it. Shot clock turned off. Is Roy going to let him play? No, he'll call a timeout with 21 left, and this game all tied up.
Tyus Jones using a ball screen set by Justice Winslow. And he has just put this team on his shoulders. Picks off Joel Berry. Kennedy Meeks late coming over from the weak side. Just poor ball screen defense. And J.P. Tokido getting caught up, really getting grabbed by Justice Winslow. And all of a sudden, we got a tie game. North Carolina has an opportunity here to get the last shot in regulation. And right now, taking care of the ball And then blockouts are gigantic because North Carolina, an excellent offensive rebounding team that has dominated the paint and dominated the glass.
What a game and what a scene tonight. It's lived up to the hype. There was a lot of hype, and it's lived up to the hype.
It always does. Yeah. I mean, the North Carolina-Duke rivalry always seems to deliver. And Roy Williams called that timeout in one measure to get Bryce Johnson back on the floor.
Barry, Page, Britt, Johnson, Meeks.
3 ball handlers, 2 interior scorers, and rebounders.
It starts with Britt.
Page working off the ball, guarded by Quinn Cook, who will not leave him. They haven't left him all night. Now here's the switch.
Page. Not there. Long rebound. And we are going to overtime.
Forte will have to take it. Got it! He lets it fly! Doherty dribbling it all the way down the floor. There it is. Banks gets off the shot. It's in!
Another great chapter is being written into this great rivalry. We mentioned in the last 80 games, they're tied 40-40 coming into this one. And we're off to overtime here in Durham.
A lot of highlights made by Bryce Johnson and J.P. Tokoto for North Carolina. But no highlights have been bigger or better than the highlights made by Tyus Jones down the stretch. He really put this Duke team on his back. And I think was a gigantic factor in getting the Blue Devils to overtime, because this looked like it was Carolina's to salt away.
An 11-2 run to close regulation for the Blue Devils.
And right now the momentum is on the part of the Blue Devils. Now how North Carolina comes out, they did not come out strong at the start of the game. They did not come out strong at the start of the second half. Will they come out strong at the start of overtime?
Roy Williams goes back to his 5 starters. Mike Krzyzewski's got Matt Jones in instead of Emil Jefferson. Otherwise, the rest of his starters are there.
Well, Jones, an excellent defender, but also can stretch the defense and is a great long-range shooter.
Jones lost it. And Carolina will take over here in the opening seconds of overtime.
Carolina's got to go inside.
Instead, Tokoto misses a 16-footer. They tap it back out, a play they love. Meeks banging with Okafor. Yes.
Wow. That is tremendous strength, because he took quite a shot. That was big body on big body.
18 for Meeks. Winslow going to draw the foul, and you're right. Bryce Johnson is out of the game.
Smart play by Justice Winslow. He got an angle on Johnson and just took it right into him to pick up that 5th foul. That is a huge loss for North Carolina. And Winslow, he went through a 3 or 4 game stretch where he didn't play particularly well, and he's been much more aggressive driving it, not just in transition, but in the half court. And when he puts the ball on the deck and goes hard, he's a load to stop.
So 18 points and 12 rebounds just went to the bench for North Carolina. Isaiah Hicks taking the place of Johnson.
Well, Justice Winslow had a really good game up at Syracuse, and he has followed that up with yet another really good game.
Okafor, what a rebound.
That's not a foul. Well, that was a heck of a rebound by Jahlil Okafor.
Okafor, by the way, has been in double figures, Jay, every game this season, but he's only got 8 points here tonight. A steal.
Oh, what a terrible pass.
A lot of contact between Okafor and Meeks.
Might as well go to Okafor and let him go to work.
No double team. For one of the rare occasions tonight. And it cost them.
How are you going to stop that, Dan? One-on-one in the post, and he can catch it off the post and still get all the way to the rim. And that is a big body that he is going against in Kennedy Meeks. But he just bullied him all the way down to the rim and got it to go. The second pick in last year's draft. Looking at the first pick in next year's draft, potentially.
And into double figures now is Okafor with 10. Third foul on Meeks. One-point lead, Duke.
Right now, the focus has got to be Marcus Page. Not only for North Carolina, but it's got to be defensively for Duke.
Jackson for three.
And a foul on Meeks.
Number 4 on Meeks, and Okafor is going to head back to the free throw line.
Yeah, what a storm that Duke has weathered in this ballgame. To come back in what looked like an impossible situation down the stretch. This young team, and really short-handed team with only 8 scholarship players, has shown a lot of poise.
And Carolina's inability to knock down threes biting them again here tonight. They're just 2 for 10 from three-point range. And Duke is 10 for 16. Okafor, however, steps to the free throw line 0 for 4 tonight.
It's also been Carolina's inability to take care of the ball. I mean, they have pitched it away on a number of different occasions.
Wow. 0 for 5.
Now, you can't let it get into his head. I mean, he has struggled from the free throw line, but he's capable. You mentioned, Dan, he shot 64% in conference games. He is capable.
And put the senior going over with some reassuring words and a slap to the chest of Okafor. For 6. Took it out of the pass into Hicks, and Carolina's back on top.
Well, how about that? Miss a free throw, and North Carolina gets a layup out of it.
Winslow driving on Hicks. Good rebound by Meeks.
And a terrific defensive job by Isaiah Hicks to keep his hands up, keep his body in front.
Tokido off the glass and good. Carolina by 3.
J.P. Tokido using his strength to go into the contact instead of avoiding it.
Tyus Jones, 2 more for the freshman.
What a stud. I mean, he has been magnificent. He's got 22. He had 22 at Wisconsin. You put a big game in front of that kid, and he's going to respond. I wonder if Tyus Jones even knows he's a freshman. Anybody let him in on that fact?
Page in traffic, in trouble. Duke ball. Jones to Cook.
Wow.
Duke back on top.
What a game.
Britt. And a foul from behind on Cook.
Tyus Jones has attacked the basket and keeps his head up, never took his head off the rim. His eyes were up the whole time, then passing ahead. And how about this shot? That's big time. High off the glass to avoid the shot block attempt by the great athlete J.P. Tokido. Man!
Hicks just 60% on the season.
Matt Jones stepped in early, and it looks like they're going to call it. They're giving him another shot. I mean, he did step in early, but I thought they were going to ignore it.
That's 2 free throws. It wasn't like it was 1 and 1.
That's the thing. I never understood that. I guess in the rule book that would be considered disconcerting.
Yes. And it costs Duke a point.
I don't know why he was worried about stepping in on 2 shots.
Wow. Carolina back on top.
This game is going to be about getting a stop, a big defensive rebound. Right now, a defensive rebound on either end is a gigantic play. A cross screen down low. Well, you better come at him with another player.
They're not. Now Chocodo gets close, but too late.
And that's just child's play for him. No disrespect to Kennedy Meeks, but because Kennedy Meeks is an outstanding, whether they're so young, whether they've got enough horses down the stretch with only 8 scholarship players. But if those 8 stay healthy, this is as good an offensive team as you're going to see in college basketball.
Minute 41 to go in overtime. It'll be Carolina ball.
2 guys right now on Marcus Page, and Cook is going to stay on him, and he will not leave.
Hicks.
A good job by Matt Jones to show help and help out Justice Winslow, who is guarding in the post against the bigger Isaiah Hicks. Now involving Okafor and a ball screen out top.
Britt, tough one, kept alive, but it's Duke ball.
And there was the defensive rebound we've been talking about. Now Duke can burn some clock, and Winslow's got Hicks on him. They've been running some screen roll with Tyus Jones and Winslow up top.
Shot clock to 10. Tyus Jones has made so many plays tonight for the Blue Devils. Matt Jones with an offensive rebound. And now Cook and Jones's ability to shoot free throws becomes a factor.
And Quinn Cook was not going to give that ball up because of exactly what you pointed out, the fact that he knows he's the best free throw shooter and a senior that has had an outstanding year and an outstanding game.
Has not been to the line tonight, but he's a cool 91% on the season, and Roy Williams will use a timeout.
Duke out of timeouts. Roy Williams still with 3 left.
Well, Duke looked like they were in real trouble late, and then Tyus Jones started making plays.
That young man down the stretch had an S on his chest. And he just put this Duke team on his back and carried him to overtime. And Jahlil Okafor, single coverage, I think he has demonstrated he can handle. Double coverage he's had a little bit more difficulty with, as one would expect. But there's not, I don't think there's a single player in the country that can guard him one-on-one.
Each team with 5 players in double figures tonight. Tyus Jones leading all scorers with 22. And notable in his absence again, Marcus Page, as you said, Quinn Cook. I mean, he might drive him home after the game. He has not left him all night long, and Cook has not only guarded Page well, he's been a huge contributor at the offensive end. 6 threes in the game for Cook, and now he hits to the free throw line. Even if he makes them both, it's still just a 3-point game, a 1-possession game.
And even if he makes them both, you're going to see North Carolina push the ball down court quickly and try to get something quick going to the basket. It is not a good three-point shooting team with the exception of Marcus Paige and at times Nate Britt.
He missed one.
And Marcus Paige flat on his back.
Well, they look a little scrambly right now. Now they find Paige.
Got a switch.
Here comes Cook. Not going to let Okafor take him. Hicks. 10 seconds. Tokido the jumper.
That was not the shot they wanted. Tokido's got to attack. Once the ball was given up to Isaiah Hicks, he thought he had dribbled and was afraid to dribble it again. When he gave it up to J.P. Tokido, Tokido settled for a jump shot. Instead of, now the ball goes on the double team, goes to Hicks. He thought he had dribbled it, so he was afraid to dribble it again. And Tokido had Okafor on him. All he had to do was drive it. The superior athlete against the big guy. Put it on the deck and drive it. Instead, he settles for the jumper. And Duke's in the driver's seat with 3.2 seconds to go in overtime.
And another review on the clock.
Well, what a college basketball game this has been.
Worth sleeping in a tent for a month before the game, huh?
Just incredible. I mean, the energy in the building. Both teams went toe-to-toe for what's coming up on 45 minutes. And you've seen some just tremendous plays on both sides.
Cook can basically salt it away by making a pair. Wow. Unbelievable. 91% and he's missed 2 of 3. Three-point game.
Duke may decide to foul. They don't have to. North Carolina being such a good rebounding team, you might not want to give them that opportunity.
And a timeout with 4.7 seconds remaining. And as you said, Carolina does not have a lot of good three-point shooters. They're 33% as a team. Paige is at 38. Britt doesn't take as many, but he's at 40.
Rebounding team. And Mississippi State up 3 fouled. And Kentucky wound up getting an offensive rebound and ultimately wound up winning the game because of that. So it's the same kind of decision here. Do you foul a lesser three-point shooting team with 4.7 seconds to go and up 3? It's an interesting question that not every coach in college agrees upon. In the NBA, there'd be no question they'd foul. Right now, the focus has got to be on Marcus Paige. Kennedy Meeks taking it out of bounds with Okafor on him. You get a deflection, the game's over.
Trying to get it to Paige, just got to get it in. And the foul on Britt.
That's the percentage play to foul. But you make one. And then, as you said, Dan, North Carolina very good at tipping the ball back out.
And here comes Emil Jefferson, who coming after the first free throw for the first time in a long time to give Duke a little more size on the glass.
We talked earlier about the importance of free throw blockouts. How much more important could it be right now? And Roy Williams going to set up exactly how he wants this shot and potential rebound situation. Then it's going to bounce around. Game's going to be over. And the clock doesn't start until the ball's touched.
And it'll be up to Meeks and Hicks to try to make something happen on the offensive glass.
Now Barry and Page cannot go until the ball hits the rim. So watch for the ball being tipped back out. Now, I think this is going to go high. We'll see.
Page had it. Hicks, loose ball to Jones.
Ball game.
And it is over. Looked like a foul may have been called on Carolina, but time will elapse, and Duke wins in overtime.
What a game.
A heartbreaker for Carolina. Duke making a run at the end of regulation and then finding a way to win in overtime. 92-90. The ball coming off the front of the rim. Page going after it. May have been some contact there with Winslow, but once Winslow got the ball and threw it to Jones, that was game over.
Winslow knocking the ball up, and there clearly was contact. I don't know how you call that, but just a tremendous job in missing that by Nate Britt. Launching it up with some arc on it instead of just throwing it right at the rim. And North Carolina had a chance. But what a performance by Tyus Jones.